What is up? What is up? We are live. Ooh, we're almost perfectly on time. So 1 minute after 21 o'clock, I think. Welcome to another demanitized live stream. It's a Sunday evening again. Let's have a little hangout. What a week. What a week. Very intense training week. I have many stories to tell. Actually, I have only 2 stories to tell, 2 really significant ones, but I'm gonna tell you these 2 first of all, and then we're gonna chat a little bit. First of all, as usual, the deal. How is the sound quality? How is the audio? How is the video quality? Give me some feedback. That would be very appreciated. And as well, please drop a like on the stream. That's very appreciated as well, because that helps the stream a little bit with traction of the algorithms and stuff like that. You know the deal. That would be really cool. Thank you very much. How are you doing? How was your week? Mine was pretty interesting training-wise. We could execute the big bad comeback pedal plan to the T again. We ticked every session. Yeah, we ticked every session. Today was lawn and cardio again. And hangboard. Crazy as it might sound, because actually when I designed the comeback battle plan, I was kind of hesitant, because I thought, okay, you know what, I give it for week 6. This was week 6. Yeah, week 6 out of 10 is now completed. Week 5 and week 6 contained the first hangboard sessions. Yeah, and to be exact, it was 1 hangboard session per week 5 and per week 6. I did this because I thought, okay, probably I'm gonna go full out on the first hangboard session because I haven't hangboarded so long, and then I don't want to injure myself by ramping it up to 2 hangboard sessions per week already in the next week, in week 6. So I gave it only 1 hangboard session, in week 6. I thought that during this hangboard session, I can do my 1-arm pull-up assessments on both the middle beastmaker edge, which is roughly 23 millimeters, and the side beastmaker edge, which is roughly 15 millimeters. And with hangboard assessment, I mean I do a couple of 1-armers on these edges with assisting weight with my pulley system to see how strong I am, with what kind of assisting weight I still can do a 1-armer. Because I want to have this as a reference point as well, because we're going to increase those numbers, obviously, hopefully, as the plan continues and as the comeback progress unfolds. And I started this week, on the Tuesday, this first hangboard session, this second hangboard session, I should say, of the plan in week 6, starting the strength assessment, and it went on and went on and went on. I got stronger during the session all the time. I could take off assisting weight from the pulley system all the time. And this session got incredibly much longer than I had anticipated. So I stopped it after only the side edges. I still had to do the assessment for the middle edge. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm feeling great. I don't have any, pains or aches or something in the fingers. Let's give it a second hangboard session during this week and test it out for the middle beastmaker edge. And this is what I did today. So we deviated from the plan. Can you imagine? Because we did 1 hangboard session extra. Yeah. It's the first time that we deviated from the plan. Luckily, it's not because we missed a session. It's because we did an extra session. But yeah, usually this is a double-edged sword. Cool that we did it, but we have to be careful that we don't injure ourselves, because that's quite intense. But still, I'm feeling great. The gains are amazing. I can definitely feel it on the wall in the gym. Also, these 2 hangboard sessions, I feel they were pretty amazing. I think on the middle beastmaker edge, I've got my results here. My beautiful session notes, as you can see. How far away am I? I think 4.8 kilograms of assisting weight I do need still with my right hand to be able to pull myself up fully on the middle beastmaker edge one-handed. Yeah, so that's how far we are away from the 1-armer. Maybe you remember, back in November 2019, I did my first 1-armer completely without assisting weight on the middle beastmaker edge back in the gym in Fürstenfeld. This was roughly the time when I did my first laid-in friction of the pulley system and everything. But yeah, that's the high point. Oh, the connection is a bit unstable, huh? Quality okay, could be better, says Music Scala. Okay. Okay, so we see how it develops. Maybe we have to talk with the additional residents here. Oh, okay. We're unstable. Okay. Now it's bad. Could you go down and check maybe if they download something? That would be very appreciated. Okay, we will see if we can fix it. Okay. Anyway, but this is the hangboard stuff this week. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And you have this kind of one muscle ache. It's kind of a very specific muscle ache in your lats and in the back and upper arms and everything. I feel this is so much of a more complete workout if you just pull yourself all the way up and all the way down again, compared to just that hanging in a static fashion. That's why I like to do it that way essentially nowadays. And now what I plan to do as well, now that the plan, okay, upcoming, when we talk about hangboarding, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it this way now, doing the one-arm sessions with assisting weight and see how far I can take it before I plateau, yeah. And once I plateau, I'm gonna try to switch to something more in a repeater-like fashion, yeah. So repeaters, and then keep increasing do a strength assessment on the repeaters first, and then keeping to increase the repeater power. And once the repeater power is plateaued out again, going back to the max strength again. And this way we should get a nice periodization, rotation of building, hypertrophy, essentially building the muscle and then strengthening those muscles up. Yeah, it will be interesting how that goes. Yeah? So this is the plan for the upcoming hangboard sessions, essentially. And I'm also going to do a video of this one-armer session next week, which should be interesting. It contains quite a couple of cool tips when it comes to training with a pulley system in general. So if you're interested in that stuff, you should check it out. Should come up next week, Wednesday or something, or Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's see. And then I had a crazy good lawn session as well. I think it was on Wednesday this week. I almost landed my first backflip on the lawn. That was pretty crazy. That was, I don't know. I felt so fast and quick during that session. I had so much jumping power. That was just amazing. Did the cartwheel and then tried the backflip a couple of times. I think 3 or 4 times. And, usually I'm quite hesitant with this kind of stuff. I like to do it if there is a springy ground below me or some kind of trampoline or stuff like that, because then I feel much more safe that I can get the height and get the height and the momentum with my jumping. But on a completely static ground like a lawn, I never tried it before. Yeah. And I almost landed it first try pretty much. And then the second, third, and fourth try, they were actually all worse than my first try. But yeah, I still need to gain a little bit more jumping power, maybe a little bit more momentum on backflip. And then we could finally land it next week or something during the upcoming during the upcoming lawn session next week. Yeah, because this next week we only have one lawn session and one cardio session again. So this is how it's going training wise. Okay. So yeah, someone is downloading something in the lower floor. Hopefully we don't get too much interference on the stream, and then we should 1.5 minutes or something until the download is completed, and then we should have free broadband width so that we can stream. Yeah. So how are you doing? Little one is now 9 weeks old. It's already starting to make push-ups, and looking up with the head like this. Still not trying to crawl around, but doesn't really gain any any distance yet. Moving the feet, moving the hands, but doesn't really gain any distance. But she can look up quite solidly now already with pushing her arms up, or how should I say? Yeah, it's like a push-up essentially, and she's going around. So that's how it's all going. I must say it's a crazy process, crazy development going on here. Philip R says, let's answer some questions, shall we? Hey Manny, love your streams. Thanks, man. That's very appreciated. Unfortunately, I usually work Sunday nights. Oh no, you work Sunday nights. That sounds like a horrific job, man. I listen to the live streams the next morning. Okay, Question 1, do you have any pre-send rituals? Do you find them helpful? Question 2, what is something you regret? Doesn't have to be climbing related. Okay. Today, we are rocking the beautiful Erdinger live stream receptacle. It is filled with good old mineral water and a little bit of lemon juice. Yeah, so we're going to enjoy this during the stream. Okay. Pre-send rituals. I would say, first of all, I go through the moves in my head. Yeah, this is something that everybody should do, and not a lot of people do, actually, interestingly enough. And this is then they climb into the crux on, okay, if there is a big rest before the crux, and you have time to rethink the crux one more time on the route, well, then you can basically start into the route without thinking about it too much already. Yeah. But if it's a power endurance piece and the crux comes after the third bolt, full force at you without any rest, without any, rhythm breaker, without any pace breaker or something like that, then you should do this stuff on the ground. You should go through your moves one more time, anticipate every foothold, anticipate every clipping position and all that stuff. Because just because you went through it in your head before, you're going to be a lot faster once you're actually there, and you're going to save a lot of time, a lot of energy. Increases your ascending chances significantly, okay? Going through the moves and really doing the moves on the ground with your hands and your feet, yeah, to activate the muscle memory and all that stuff. And the second thing is breathing, yeah. Breathe calmly, breathe regularly, breathe deeply and slowly at the beginning, yeah, and then once you're getting closer to starting, actually oxygenize the body with a couple of really deep and solid breaths, and then start, because this delays the onsight of the pump significantly, okay, if you have oxygenized your system beforehand already. So these are two things which are really effective in terms of sending strategy, yeah, in terms of pre-send rituals, I would say. And they become more and more important the more at your limit you're working, yeah. So if it's a really hard project of yours, this stuff really pays off, in my opinion. Also gets rid of the sending nervosity, I would say, which becomes progressively more and more as you are projecting a route. If it's already your 50th try on the route, you're going to have a lot more sending nervosity than if it's still your 5th try. Yeah, does that make sense? Because you've put already so much effort in, and routes become quite mental that way. The more effort you put in, the more mental they become, and the more you have to deal with this factor. Yeah, sending nervosity and breathing calmly really helps with that stuff. Question 2, what is something you regret? Doesn't have to be climbing related. That's an interesting question. I think what I would regret is not starting the YouTube thing earlier, okay? Because I played around with the thought of starting the YouTube thing for about a year, actually, before I actually did it. Yeah, I should have started it right away when I had the idea. But yeah, of course, this is I don't know. It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of self-awareness and all that stuff to put yourself out there for criticism. And I think I was not ready yet fully for this. So in the end, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. But I should have started it earlier, man. I should have started it earlier. It was something that I wanted to do, and I delayed it for quite some time because I always had my excuses. Yeah, I was studying. I was spending a lot of time studying. I was climbing a lot, spending a lot of time training. But the reality is, then I started it, and I still studied, and I still trained. Yeah, I made videos about my training anyway, as well. Yeah, so these things went hand in hand in the end. So there was not really the excuse that I had so much stuff to do. Yeah, studying doesn't take a lot of time anyway. Yeah, you just have to go there and make your exams, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, I should have started that earlier. This is one thing I regret. Another thing I regret is my bouldering accident, okay, when I think about it. My bouldering accident is a thing that I really regret because it was just such a stupid accident, and didn't need to happen at all. It was just a stupid misplacement of the bouldering pad. I should have replaced it before I started this goddamn attempt. I also, because there was a couple of crowds standing behind me and they were cheering me up. And I thought, wow, I can do all the moves. Yeah, for me, this was a 7C boulder back then. And for me to be able to do all the moves on a 7C boulder outdoors, this was something that was completely new for me. Yeah, I did not really have the experience with that. And I was just thinking, okay, maybe we can pull it off. Yeah, maybe we can pull it off. But of course, then came the crux move and I just simply fell off. But having these people behind you shouting you up, this gives you false confidence that you are actually secure and these people are going to manage to push you on the pad and stuff, yeah? Which, of course, is not going to happen in the end. The pad was too close at the rock, and I fell behind the pad with one leg and broke my ankle. Yeah, this is something that I really regret because... But yeah, why did it happen? In the end, it happened because I was too inexperienced. Yeah? I didn't have the experience yet. I didn't really know that bouldering can be super dangerous that way, that you jump just simply besides the pad. Pad misplacement is the number one cause of injury in bouldering outdoors, I would say, at least. That's why I always say, yeah, don't trust your spotters, trust your freaking pads. Trust your pads. Have your pads with you and put the pads in a proper manner. Yeah, so this is another thing that I regret. Is there anything else? Let me think. Nothing really comes to my mind now. Where I would say, wow, this went super wrong, really. At least not in my conscious lifetime. Maybe that I had a little accident when I was at the end of elementary school. How old are you at the end of elementary school? 10 years or something? 11? 10? 10, 11 years. We ran around. We played. We wanted to catch each other and stuff. And I just stupidly fell to the floor, just completely unnecessary, and broke these 2 teeth off. And this is how I now have these 2 teeth. Kind of, there is something glued on so that these the cracks, something that broke off, is not visible. This was just another stupid accident that I regret. But I mean, this is almost out of my conscious lifetime. I was just a kid back then. I couldn't really pay attention. But I remember just falling so stupidly, and then, this was so unnecessary. Yeah. And then you had to go to the dentist, and it was painful at the dentist, and because of such a stupid accident. Yeah. But things like this happen, you live, you learn, you make accidents, you injure yourself. If you do stuff, then this stuff just happens. I have the feeling. Or how do you think about this kind of stuff? Andreas Krüger says, "Hi Manny, greetings from San Diego." What's up, Andreas? Greetings from Styria. Do you have any advice on how to gather info about outdoor routes? Are there sources that are more useful than others? Yeah, I mean, what I always would do is I would go to the local climbing gym, and usually the local climbing gyms, they have the local topos. Yeah, there's usually some sort of dudes or some sort of club or something that takes care of the local cracks and checks the fixed quick draws from time to time, checks the bolts from time to time. And these are usually the people that also make the topos. And these are also the people who should earn the profit from these topos because they put the effort in as well. Yeah. So then I would buy these topos, and they usually have the best info they should have the best info about the routes. Now then there is also other people who make topos as well. They have a little bit of a different strategy. They just simply travel around and go with their drones, take photos and everything, and then put out these massive topos where a couple of cracks are in there, and it's kind of a collection of cracks and whatnot. And these are usually, these are very profit-oriented people. Obviously, they want to they capitalize a little bit on the work of others, which is something that is not so cool in my opinion. Yeah, you should always buy the as local as possible topos that there is. Sometimes there is no topos at all, then it's basically free game. Okay, then you can usually find something in the internet, and if there's not even something in the internet, then it's probably a secret crack. Then you just simply have to know someone who knows the stuff and who can take you with them, and maybe they have a secret PDF topo or something that they share around in their community or stuff, but there is nothing public, so to say. But yeah, always buy as local as possible topos if you want to have the best local information that you can have. And it's also usually the way to put the profit where it belongs, namely to the people who actually bolted the routes, who actually put the work in upholding the routes, cleaning the routes, and keeping them climbable, so to say. Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of context here, there is a lot of profit making going on with topos nowadays. Yeah. As I said, people bring out these huge books of, like, for example, in Greece, I think this is very common, that there is huge books of all the possible crags in Greece. And of course, people tend to buy these topos because then they have it all at once, right? But overlooking that they are then actually bypassing those people who actually put the work in and the effort into bolt these routes and keeping them climbable and everything. So this is something you should keep in mind when buying topos. Music Scala on the stream again. What's up, man? How do you do? What do you think is the best mentality for a flash attempt? Cool and composed, or hyped and aggressive? For me, I think to have no expectations, or I will become unfocused and nervous. I would rather go with hyped and aggressive, to be honest. Hyped and aggressive is, in my opinion, what yields the better results, or in my experience as well, I must say. Cool and composed. Well, I would say, what about aggressive and composed? Yeah, aggressive and composed. That's a good combo when I read your words here. Usually, if you take it easy, okay, if you take it easy and you let yourself be surprised by what's coming at you and stuff like that. Okay, I'm talking about on-sighting more than flashing here, maybe. But if you do it like that, then you're usually a little bit too slow and you're a little bit too hesitant when it comes to the moves, especially with on-sighting. With flashing, it's a bit of a different game because you know already the beta. And with this, it could be that cool and composed is actually a little bit closer to what's ideal than compared to super hyped and aggressive, because then you are just... if you're rushing things, then you're not hitting footholds properly, you're not hitting handholds properly, and this can actually bite you in the ass then. For an on-site attempt, I would definitely be hyped and aggressive, because usually people don't fail in an on-site because they slept for a hold and they didn't hit it properly or something like that. They failed because they gassed out because they were so hesitant on the moves before that already. You know what I'm saying? You're hesitant, you're looking for a clipping position. Maybe there's a scary clip that takes a lot of energy. Then you're even slower on the next couple of moves. You burn just a lot of energy. And this way you just, then at some point you're just gassing out and you let go. Or you say take. Yeah, you say to your belayer, take it doesn't make any sense anymore. I'm just too gassed. This is why most on-site attempts fail. And in this scenario, to be hyped and aggressive and just simply trying, if it's an on-site attempt at your limit, you have to have luck anyways a couple of times to be able to do it. Yeah, for me, all the hard on-sites that I did, a couple of 8As and one 8A plus, there was luck involved. Yeah, there was definitely luck involved a couple of times probably, on each and every route. And if I hadn't just simply tried my luck by doing it hyped and aggressively, I just wouldn't have been able to pull them off. Yeah. So this is something I would You should climb as if you already know the route. Yeah, you should climb as if you already know the route. Like, how do I always say it? Fake it till you make it. Okay, fake it till you make it. That's just the ideal wording. You do as if you have projected the route for 20 attempts already. Yeah. And by faking this circumstance, if luck plays in your hand, you might actually be able to pull it off. And if you do this right, you will find very often that your first try, your onsight attempt, is actually quite a bit better than your second and your third go. Because on your third go, you're much more composed, you're much more relaxed, okay? Because you've lost the onsight attempt already anyway. And then you also climb a lot worse. You climb a bit slower, you climb a bit less accurate. Yeah, you've got nothing to lose then. With that, that's really interesting if you look at the mentality of onsighting and flashing and stuff like this. Yeah. So this is what I can say. For onsighting, definitely hyped and aggressive. For flashing, yeah, it's more like really ingraining the beta properly that you hopefully got from a very good beta donor. Okay, a beta donor is extremely important for a proper flash attempt that can anticipate if certain moves will be reachable for you, yeah, how certain footholds are placed and what's reachable for you and what's not reachable for you. Big problem is usually when the beta donor is quite tall and the flasher is quite short, because then the flasher actually has to anticipate very often if something that the beta donor did is actually possible for him or if it's not possible for him. Yeah, all these kind of things go into this stuff. So this is interesting. It is interesting, definitely. Smarnka is on the stream again. I have seen you already. Have you ever considered making any food-related videos? Not just macros, but the actual meals. Well, I did a couple of actual meals on the main channel. I mean, now I did the milkshake stuff. This is something that we actually eat from time to time. I mean, now since I do the zero carb experiment, I don't. But usually during summertime, there's nothing better than a cold milkshake like that, right? And I showed my favorite recipes on the main channel. Apart from that, if I eat normally nowadays, I just eat normal stuff, okay? It's piece of meat and potatoes, piece of meat and rice with vegetables, vegetable curry with rice, piece of meat with vegetables, whatever, yeah? Pretty standard stuff. And then apart from that, a couple of fruits, a couple of these milkshakes and stuff like that, yeah? This is how I eat nowadays. It's just not completely vegan anymore. And during the vegan days, I did a couple of recipes as well, as you might know. This is the time when the efficient cuisine came to be. So yeah, there's a couple of stuff you really can already check out there, basically. Also, I really enjoyed the fear of falling video. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I'm happy that you did. This was a very interesting session, yeah, with the first outdoor session of the comeback battle plan. And probably the next outdoor session is already in the making. Next week, we should be able to get one more outdoor session in. Let's see if it works out, yeah. You can't do them alone, and we can't do them. Mona and I can't do them together, just the two of us now, because we have a little third adventurer with us that always needs some attention. So we need a third person for our team, essentially. And to find someone like this is sometimes easy, sometimes not. Yeah? Next week, it should be good again. Ooh, we already have the first mosquito here on the stream as well, as it seems. Yeah. Just stay in the background, please. Okay, let's see. Frankenstein says, do you ever do forearm/finger curls for hypertrophy gains? Maybe that also can break a finger strength plateau. This is what I've been thinking about as well myself recently. I remember back in the days when I did a lot of a lot of Merkenstein bouldering. Yeah, this was still back when I was in Vienna, and I made my first outdoor bouldering experiences in this wonderful forest of Merkenstein to the south of Vienna, about 40 minutes with car away. What I did there essentially was I did a lot of outdoor bouldering. I think almost consequently 2 times a week. Yeah, 2 times a week I went there and spent like 2-3 hours there, because I felt it. I made so much gains there. Yeah, so I couldn't really let this go. And I had so many projects there. I wanted to do some stuff. This was just an awesome playground to get into outdoor bouldering. I was quite distanced from outdoor bouldering before that for quite some time because I had the accident. Yeah, just when I got into outdoor bouldering, unfortunately, I had this accident where I broke my ankle, and then of course I shied away a lot from outdoor bouldering for a lot of time. But when that stuff started to heal, when I got back into climbing really hard and everything, and I got my bouldering pad, then I decided to attack the outdoors, and that was in Merkenstein. And what I did there was I combined actually a lot of repeater training on the hangboard at home with the actual bouldering outdoors, because it didn't really make a lot of sense to me, instinctively, when I did these super crazy max strength moves. And back then, for me, these moves were crazy max strengthy because the holds were just so crappy and so small. I couldn't really hold them on a lot of problems. I couldn't even lift my ass off. So I did my max strength sessions in this forest, okay, outdoor bouldering. And then coming home and doing max strength on the hangboard as well didn't really make a lot of sense. So what I did, I simply did repeaters. And now in hindsight, I'm thinking maybe it was just this amazing combination of the repeaters at home, which is more of a hypertrophy training, and the max strength outdoors on the rock, on real rock, bouldering outdoors, yeah, with super small holes. That made the magic. Yeah, maybe this made the magic. Just combining these two stimuli at once, having the hypertrophy stimulus from the hangboarding and having the max strength stimulus from the actual bouldering. So this time I simply want to do it again like this. Now it's going quite well with the one armers still. Yeah, we're making gains with every session. And usually if you're in this kind of state, you don't stop. You just keep running a system that is winning. You don't change it. Yeah, so you keep winning until the plateau arrives, and then we switch. And then we switch to repeaters probably. And we see what hypertrophy gains we can make with repeaters. These finger curls, I never really tried. I must say I also don't really have any training tool with which I could try this. I don't have any dumbbells or stuff like that. Yeah, I only have these stupid kettlebells. I don't have any dumbbells with which I could try this. Do I maybe? I would have them in the gym theoretically, in the climbing gym, so I could do it there. I could try it there, but I have a feeling that repeaters are actually more effective. Repeaters you can do also on really small holes. It's just simply mimicking climbing a bit more, in my opinion. Yeah, so we're gonna try this with repeaters. Okay, JK says, do you believe in destiny? Do you believe in destiny? For this question, I will have to take a sip from the good old live stream receptacle first. No, I don't believe in destiny. I don't believe in destiny. Why do I not believe in destiny? Simply because every time I can think of it, every time I took action towards something, whatever it may be, maybe it's the YouTube thing, maybe it's girlfriends and relationships, whatever it may be, yeah, it's jobs, it's studying, exams, whatnot, trying a new piece on the guitar. Whenever I took a step towards something actively, it usually turned out to be the right thing. Okay, it turned out to be the right thing. It turned out to be the right thing. This goes back to the question where someone asked if I regret something, right? The things that you regret the most is the things that you didn't do, simply the things that you missed out on, or the things that you didn't have the balls to try. These are the things you usually regret, if we are honest with ourselves. Yeah. And when you take action, when you take a step towards something that's in your mind and you actually try it and you get the positive feedback, it works. And this process works over and over again. You really cannot believe in destiny anymore, because you see with your own eyes that it's your actions, it's your decisions, yeah, and not only in your mind, yeah, not only thinking about it, but actually taking action towards certain goals. If you just simply do this, things that you would have not be able, you wouldn't have been able to imagine even to come in your life, yeah, if you just take action towards these things. If you're waiting for destiny to put this in your life, you're gonna be old and disappointed. If I wouldn't have taken these certain steps that I'm talking about towards certain goals, like if I would still be hesitant about the YouTube thing, I would still study at university because I'm too hesitant to quit. Okay, or for a lot of people, quitting studying is a lot harder than actually keeping to sit there and getting degree after degree and after degree and after degree. Although they hate this stuff, yeah, they would rather do something else. But keeping studying is also giving you security. Yeah? It's giving you purpose. It's giving you security that you at least do something. At least it's not what you would like to do the most, but at least it's not nothing. You probably still get the appreciation from your parents and all that kind of stuff. So you keep staying in this system. Yeah. In this kind of situation, you have to hope for fate to help you out of this. But guess what? You can simply snap out of it yourself if you take action towards this stuff. If you yourself take action. And as someone who did this a couple of times in his life already, I must say, every time it was pretty much rewarded. I almost never got disappointed by taking a step, taking action towards something of some of my goals. This is why I can't really believe in destiny. Yeah, I think we make our own fate. We decide over our own fate. In German, we say, "Jeder ist seines Glückes Schmieds." Yeah. So you can forge your own luck. Everybody can forge his own luck, essentially means that. And this is very true. Yeah? You can today decide to change your life, and you don't believing in fate is thereby a really toxic thing again. We can talk about this stuff again in a truth versus mindset context. Yeah. Rather than asking yourself whether fate and destiny exists, ask yourself, what's the better mindset? Is the better mindset believing in destiny, or is the better mindset not believing in destiny? And if you're honest with yourselves, in the end, you will find that not believing in destiny is the better mindset, because this actually forces you to do something. Believing in destiny gives you an excuse to do nothing. Yeah. What's the better mindset? Yeah. Truth versus mindset is very important. Even if there was destiny, even if the truth was that destiny is out there, it would still be the better mindset to not believe in destiny. Yeah. And trying to do everything you can to become a better person yourself, taking action towards your goals, and being confident in what you believe, yeah, and what you want. So much I can say about that. Pretty cool question. Lycanthrope is on the stream again. What's up? Moin Manny. Wie wäre es mal mit ein paar von deinen aktuellen Keto-Rezepten? Selbst habe ich vor 3 Tagen wieder mal eine Keto-Diät angefangen, habe in der Vergangenheit sehr gute Erfahrungen damit gemacht, als ich meine erste 7C projektiert habe und erinnere mich, dass es recht schnell recht eintönig wird. Und wie lief deine Umstellung? Tricks gegen Keto-Flu. Okay, so let me just real quickly, we've got a German comment here. Let me just real quickly translate that. What's up, Manny? How was it with a couple of keto recipes? I myself started with keto 3 days ago. I made very good experiences in the past with it, with my first 7C, and I remember that it's gonna be pretty boring pretty quickly because you always eat the same stuff essentially. And how was your switch? How was your switch from a normal diet, quote unquote, to a keto diet? Tricks against the Keto-Flu. Well, first of all, I want to mention that I'm not on a keto diet. Okay, I'm not on a traditional ketogenic diet now. What I'm rather trying is a zero carb diet, which basically means, fiber is a carb as well. Yeah, fiber is a carb as well. On a zero carb diet, you also don't eat any fiber. You don't eat any sugars. You don't eat any fruit. All fresh dairy products are out of the game because they contain lactose, which is a sugar. You can ferment dairy though to get the lactose out. Then you can actually consume it. You can eat eggs. You can eat meat. Yeah, it's no problem. No vegetables, no fruit, no grains, no starches, no tubers, no nothing from the plant kingdom essentially. I can do this nowadays because I have contact with a really cool farmer who lives 15 minutes away from us, who just is an organic farm. So I have access to just epically raised, perfectly well treated animal foods. If you have this, of course, if you are so privileged, this is of course very well possible because now I live on the countryside. Yeah. If you're so privileged and you can actually do this, would I do it if I would only have the city with supermarket stuff? It would be a lot harder, yeah, but would still be doable probably, and would be a lot more expensive as well. Yeah, so now it's actually affordable. But anyway, aside from that, I don't think that I'm in deep ketosis a lot of the time. Actually, most of the time I am in a very mild ketosis. So that on the keto strips that I use when I take a piss, I just check my ketones from time to time by pissing on a strip, on a stripe. I don't know what it's called, really, but it's showing all the time just trace amounts of ketosis. And at the end of a night, if I take a piss and I didn't eat anything, then it's a little bit higher. This is why, again, I assume that the body during the night runs more and more on ketones as the night goes on, and at the end of the night, close to the morning, the ketones in your urine are actually the highest, which is when you can detect them the most. And then you eat breakfast and ketones are rock bottom again. Yeah. And also, as you get up, you don't even have to eat breakfast. Usually the body starts to synthesize glucose out of protein, gluconeogenesis. We all know the deal. And then ketones go very low. So I have the feeling that I'm not in ketosis for a lot of time really on this diet. And as I said previously, I don't think that ketosis really gives you a good punch in the gym as well. Yeah, the good punch in the gym comes from sugar, and this sugar at this point comes from gluconeogenesis because I don't eat any exogenous carbohydrates. Yeah, I synthesize all my carbs myself. A lot of really, there is a guy out there who holds world records in sprinting, rowing, and is just generally in really good shape and does this stuff for 4 years already. Yeah, eating zero carbohydrates. Has a huge body with huge musculature, pulling off crazy world record stuffs, athletically speaking, yeah, but in a sprinting manner, not even in an endurance manner, but in a sprinting manner. So I had to conclude this guy in his body must have access to some sort of carbohydrates to pull this off. And he does, yeah, because this guy eats a lot of protein. And if you do this, then you're not in ketosis a lot of the time. You just synthesizing carbs out of your protein, yeah. And this way, you're actually you're staying away from ketosis quite a lot. This is my experience. How was the switch? Well, in the switching period, maybe 1-2 weeks, I was a little low energy, I must say. I was a little low energy. I also had significantly less punch in the gym because the body just simply had no access to carbs. But now I must say the results training-wise are quite mixed. There is still sessions where I have the feeling, could be better. But then there is sessions from time to time which are just really good. Like, for example, this lawn session I had this week where I almost stood my first backflip. Dude, I had jumping power out the ass. I had the feeling, wow, I could jump to the moon. That was crazy, man. And I wasn't even specifically light. I took my weight that day. Weight is constant as frick on this diet. I have the feeling. I'm always around 67.2 to 67.5 kilos in the morning after my morning piss. Simple as that. Never really changes. It's amazing to watch that. With carbs, it's different because when you carb up bigly like that, then you're already a kilo heavier the next morning. Yeah. So your weight fluctuates a lot more on if you eat carbs simply. If you're not eating carbs, I have the feeling it's kind of constant that way. Yeah. It's also an interesting effect. But anyway, some workouts are crazy good, just like the hangboard session. Also, this in general was a really good week when it comes to workouts. And then we have workouts where it's not so good. We have simply also days which are quite a bit more tired than other days. Yeah. But to be honest, maybe it's also because I sleep a little bit less because a little one during the night or some stuff like this. Yeah, I can't really think of all the mechanisms that could influence this kind of stuff. But when it comes to only diet, I have the feeling, yeah, to my surprise, or actually not to my surprise, but I still get good workouts without carbs. This is something that I wanted to prove to myself. How can these people with only eating protein get so good workouts? This was my question. Of course, they are not in ketosis. They run on sugars as well, but they synthesize their sugars themselves inside of their body. This is the only conclusion that I can draw from this experiment of mine, where I can see that I myself I'm not in ketosis during these workouts. Yeah. And if you're actually doing physical activity and stuff like that, the body starts to ramp up blood glycogen more, blood glucose more and more as well. And this glucose must come from somewhere, right? If we don't eat any carbs, well, it's coming from protein. It's coming from gluconeogenesis. I would suppose that if I'm more in ketosis, my workouts are a little bit worse. And if I'm less in ketosis, the workouts are a little bit better. And during the night, I am in ketosis automatically because the body reduces basal metabolic rate, goes into sleep mode. And as I said previously, maybe this is how the human organism is designed to run in the end. Yeah? Maybe we should have this kind of naturally synthesized constant blood sugar level during the day. And then once we sleep, once we regenerate, we ramp up ketosis slowly and slowly until the morning comes. Then we wake up and then we synthesize blood glucose again. And this is the way we are jumping in and out of ketosis for the rest of our lives. Yeah, being metabolically flexible, they call it. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going into this. Specifically Keto-Flu, like getting headaches or stuff like that, I never really had. What I can say though is, and I've talked about this previously as well, what does not work is being almost on this kind of diet. Because before I actually started at 100%, I spent 2, 3, 4 weeks on being almost on this kind of diet, where I already had quite a couple of fats. I had quite a couple of animal products, but I was still smashing the one or the other sugary smoothie in. I was still eating apples, still smashing in bananas and stuff like that. And all these kind of carb kicks kind of kick you out of this process where your body actually already decided, okay, you already give me the good stuff. Please let me run on the good stuff, essentially. Stop kicking me out of it all of the time with those exogenous carbs. Yeah. And then they really make you tired. They spike your blood glucose, then you get tired, spike your insulin, you get tired because of the the blood sugar drop. Yeah, and this doesn't really work. So you gotta do this 100%, or you have to run on exogenous carbs. Yeah, and if you want to run on exogenous carbs, it's actually better to keep the fats really low so that you're really insulin sensitive. And actually a very high carb vegan approach is probably, if you want to run on carbs at all perfectly, might be the better strategy. Yeah, but this is not sustainable. You're gonna lose your teeth, you're gonna lose your health, and yeah, at this point in time, health is just more important to me than athletic performance. That's just how it is. So I would say, yeah, health-wise, I'm doing a lot better on this kind of diet. Skin is amazing, so amazing, and skin is my absolute weakness. Something goes wrong, my skin is usually breaking out or shows some sort of it's not satisfying. Yeah, it's a little bit bumpy. Nowadays, my skin is just absolutely amazing. I never in my life had this good skin, I think, as I do have now. It's just simply leaving the carbs out. There can't really be any pimples without carbs, just like there can't be holes in your teeth without carbs. It's not possible. It's physically impossible. Music Scala says, would you compete in the Olympics if you had the chance to? Well, if somebody calls me nowadays and says, you know what, our guy for the Olympics for Austria jumped off, we need someone new, do you want to join? Well, I would probably do it. It would be a fun ride. It would be fun to go to Japan and experience the stuff. Just simply visiting Japan would be cool in general. So yes, I would do it. But already when thinking about the training which would be necessary for the Olympics, I get kind of put off that stuff. Yeah, because I don't really want to train speed. That sounds really boring to me. And I don't want to spend a lot of time in plastic indoors, especially not on route plastic indoors. I mean, I like bouldering on the 45er and stuff because that mimics the outdoors quite good. But spending a lot of time on plastic on routes is not really my thing. Yeah, so I would just drive there for the hell of it, but without really too much expectations. Chili Chat is on the chat again. What's up, Chili? Says, I do finger curls with kettlebells. Okay, but I thought the finger curls, you kind of have to roll the weight up like this, right? Don't you have to roll the weight up like this and then let it roll down again? And since the kettlebells can't really roll, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Do I understand that wrong? Fabian Rivero says, hello, Manny. I'm in my last year at university. I'm studying physics. Cool. Physics is a nice stuff. Nice program, at least. And I have a doubt about that. How do you pronounce the name Erwin Schrödinger? You mean Erwin Schrödinger, if I'm not mistaken. Erwin Schrödinger. Fabiano Rivero says, sorry for that random question, but I don't have too much opportunities to speak with Austrians. You mean the physician Erwin Schrödinger, if I'm not mistaken. Erwin Schrödinger, exactly. Yeah. So you missed an R there. I think Erwin Schrödinger makes some interesting equalizations. That is the Schrödinger-Gleichungen, I remember. Austrian physicist and scientist. Okay, he's one of the founders of the quantum mechanics. Yeah, so that's the pronunciation, Erwin Schrödinger. Yeah. JK says, thanks for answering. However, JK, that was, do you believe in destiny? Thanks for answering. However, when I try to achieve a certain goal, most of the time it doesn't work out, even if I try really hard. Do you think I have bad luck, or should I try even harder? It could be that you actually have bad luck, okay? So not believing in destiny doesn't mean that there is luck out there as well. Okay, there is luck. There is definitely luck and unluck as well. What is the opposite of luck? Misfortune. Misfortune is the opposite of luck in English, if I'm not mistaken, huh? Yeah, I think it's misfortune. So just because there is no destiny out there doesn't mean there is no misfortune out there. Of course, you can run and you can try really hard sometimes and it doesn't work out. Yeah, but at least you have tried your best. Yeah, at least you then you can still go to bed at night and sleep the sleep of the righteous because you tried your best. Yeah, you don't have anything to regret then. This is an important point. If you tried and it didn't work out, well, then you don't have anything to regret. Yeah. What you regret is not even trying. This is what you regret. So always try. Sounds cheesy as F, I know, but it's really the most important thing. And if you really are shut down by bad luck, well, then you try again, and you probably are not so unlucky next time. Yeah. And there is so much time. There is so much time, man, for so many attempts. There is so much time for so many attempts. In the end, statistics will come through, and you're gonna get that goal of yours. Yeah. If you just really keep trying and not be put off by one little misfortune event. Yeah. I mean, all these crazy business people who made it, quote unquote. Yeah. If they would have been put off every time someone else told them they can't do this, they can't do that, or if they have been put off every time they were unlucky with something, they wouldn't be in the positions they are in. Yeah, they are there because they are trying again and they were persistent. But quite frankly, you also have to bring something to the table. Yeah, you also have to bring abilities to the table. You have to be diligent. Yeah, a reasonable amount of intelligence wouldn't harm as well with your approach. Yeah, being socially intelligent, being intelligent when it comes to conditioning for climbing, for example, noticing certain patterns, noticing certain things that work. All these things help, of course. Yeah, and if you're good with that stuff, there is really no limits. Yeah, you can take everything to the extreme that way. Whether that's a good thing or not, it's kind of debatable. But fate at least won't come. Destiny won't come and stop you because it doesn't exist. Yeah, because it doesn't exist. Simply. So that I would say. Maybe you had just bad luck. Keep trying, yeah? Keep trying. Smanka says, I watched one of your older videos earlier and have realized I still have a fear of trying harder routes. This is called great respect. This is what I always call great respect, yeah? My best lead at the moment is 6B, but on top rope I managed a 7A, easy, and even did 7B plus multi-pitch. Okay, so I get goosebumps when I think about 7B plus multi-pitches, to be honest. 7B plus multi-pitches here in Austria means sometimes that you're gonna scare your ass off, okay? Just to put that out there. However, when I go to the local crag, I never even try a 6B or 6C, even though I could probably do it with ease. Why not? Why not? Maybe because you have great respect. Yeah, you're afraid of a potential negative experience by not sending it or by not getting to the top or whatever you're afraid of. I don't know. Yeah. Stop having great respect. Next time when you go outdoors, try a freaking 7B. You did 7B plus multi-pitches? What the hell? You can do 7B sports routes then from a fear point of view easily. You should at least, yeah? This is how I would go. Not necessarily how I would do it, but nowadays, looking back at how I should have done it myself, this is what I would advise my older self, my younger self to do it. Yeah. So go there, have no great respect. This is how the good ones do it. Yeah, they don't have great respect, and this way they progress a lot quicker because they get used to newer grades a lot quicker by simply trying them. having someone with you who's projecting a harder route than yourself helps a lot as well. Yeah. So try those 6Bs and 6Cs, man. Those are gonna go down easily, and then you will try your first 7A and you will realize that this one goes down easily as well. Yeah, relatively easily at least. And when you get rewarded like this for trying your luck on harder routes, then again, it's kind of a positive feedback loop, and you're gonna learn, hey, this gets rewarded. Being bold gets rewarded, actually, okay? Because there is no destiny, because there is no fate, yeah? You are taking action towards something and you're gonna be rewarded for it, okay? There is no bad boy god or something who's striking down with a lightning bolt at you because you're so bold to try a 7B route if you're only this or that level. No, nothing bad's gonna happen. You're just gonna get new experiences and you're gonna get closer towards your goal, which is hopefully to get a better rock climber in the end. Yeah. Usually being bold is rewarded out there. Yeah. Being bold is also rewarded in nature quite a lot. Jean Ramses is on the stream again. Welcome back, bro. What's up? Hi, Manny. Just a quick highlight about the last live stream, and the living fossils does not exist because every generation of a species is different than the original one because of genetic mutation. Yeah, theoretically, that's true. That's at the origin of genetical drift. This process make that even do the environment and the aspect of the species doesn't change that much. The actual species can't reproduce with the old one. Yes, man. Yeah, I know what you want to say. Sorry for this long message, but this idea of living fossils has been proven wrong 50 years ago, and it's still widespread. Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah, species change all the time. And there is genetical drift everywhere, yeah? Even species split apart as we speak. We see this with crows at the moment, yeah? There's a black kind of crow, then there is a gray kind of crow, and then there is a mix between those two. And actually, it seems to be the case that black and gray crows are at this time in history undergoing a species split, which theoretically could be one proof for evolution. Yeah. Whether it really is or not, that's a different story. Yeah, but this is genetical drift. Yeah, of course. Any living animal nowadays is changing. Any living species is changing all the time. Environmental influences change all the time. However, there is certain species which have changed very, very little, comparatively little, for a very, very long time. And these are what we call living fossils. It's not what you say it's not wrong. It's not a wrong term. This is just simply a specific term for a kind of species that hasn't really changed in its morphological appearance, in its lifestyle, in its eating habits, whatever you're looking at when it comes to this or that species. It hasn't really changed for a lot of time. And with crocodiles, which is the kind of species that I talked about during this last stream, this seems to be the case. Okay, we have fossil records of crocodiles from 250 million years ago or something, back into the dinosaur age. Okay, this seems to be the time when crocodiles emerged, and they have been pretty constant since then. Of course, they have undergone changes, for sure. Of course, modern crocodile genes will not be exactly the same as they have been back in the dinosaur age. Yeah, I mean, it's 250 million years, but the change that has occurred is comparatively little compared to when we look at a freaking zebra, for example. Yeah, I mean, mammals evolved a lot in the recent history. When we take a look at the dinosaur age to now, I mean, dinosaurs dominated the planet back in the dinosaur age, and now mammals are dominating the planet. Yeah, quite frankly. So here, a lot of things have changed, genetically speaking. A lot of the diversity came across. A lot of different morphological morphologies are there. Yeah, huge animals, small animals, blah 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 blah. So here a lot of things changed. We don't see really a lot of living fossils in the mammal region because mammals are quite young in the Earth's history in general. Yeah, crocodiles not so much. Crocodiles are pretty old, pretty freaking old animals. Evolutionarily speaking, yeah, I hope that makes sense. They have not undergone as much change as other species. That's why they called as a. Of course, if you dissect this term literally, then it's a wrong term because a fossil, by definition, cannot be alive today. That's correct. But they are called living fossils for a reason because they haven't really changed for a lot of time, but are still alive. The same is true for the so-called Quastenflosser, by the way. We could look this one up as well. This is a very interesting bridge animal. Again, an animal which supposedly, let me just quickly look it up on Wikipedia. What's the I think it's called Latimeria, isn't it? What the proper name is in English. Free encyclopedia. We're so lucky we have it. Latimeria. Let's see if I'm correct. Yes, I am. My biological knowledge is not to underestimate, I must say. It's quite a long time that I studied this stuff, but yeah, so these are fish species, okay? They still exist today, and they supposedly represent those kinds of those strains of fishes which at some point were able to actually go on land because they in their extremities they had actually like flesh protrusions into their fins. Yeah, if you look at normal fish, quote unquote normal fish, they have only fins and they are moving only the fins like this. Yeah, like wings almost. But these guys, they actually have small little arms like this, and then comes the fin. And of course, this is a kind of a predecessor to the amphibians later on, which were able already to hop out of the water a little bit, and then they went back and forth, and also amphibia still exist today. Yeah. So all these animals, they have, of course, their ecosystems, they have their habitats, and if they still have a justification for existence, which is the only thing you really need to have in front of the face of nature to exist, then they still exist. Yeah. Crocodiles still have their niche. They could keep their niche, and that's why they still exist today. Chili Chat says, yeah, you can only go in and out of half crimp. Yeah, you can only go in and out of half crimp. You mean with the curls? Yeah, I don't know. When I'm thinking about finger strength curls, I'm really thinking about, it's hard to demonstrate this here on camera, but in the end, you're holding your hand like 45-degree angle like this. The dumbbell lays down here, and then you roll it in, you roll it to the top, and then let go again, so that you really get this pump in your forearms, right? This kind of a hypertrophy pump. In my opinion, you can only really do this with dumbbells. Music Scala says, with this approach to training for the Olympics, you would be kicked out of the national team real quick. Absolutely true. I mean, I don't know how much investment there really is involved into sending someone to the Olympics. Probably quite a lot. Yeah. So, or do you have to pay this for yourselves? For yourself, I don't really know. Yeah, would be really interesting to find this out actually. But there is probably like a camp or something. Isn't there camps like for different nations? All of the different nations, they have their athlete camps there, and then they are sending their athletes into these competitions. So I suppose they have these kind of clubs and sending the people there, and it's actually quite of a financial investment to send all these people there. So obviously they only gonna give spots away for people who really deserve it, who put the training in, who have shown that they can make results consistently. Well, that's probably where I drop off, because I haven't really been on the competition in the competition rock climbing scene. Ahmed Metzger says they are most successful business people are there because they had a jump start by having rich parents. Yeah, not all of them. Yeah, I have the feeling that some of the really successful ones had rather the opposite. They coming from rather poor circumstances. There's a couple of Austrians who made it in America. Yeah, made it. Okay, if I talk about this stuff, I have to put this all into context, because for me, making it has nothing to do with having a lot of money or stuff like that. Yeah, I've already left that behind. Money is nothing that you should chase in any way, shape, or form nowadays. But what the mainstream would consider as successful people, quote unquote, that's of course the people who made it from relatively poor circumstances to relatively rich circumstances. There's a couple of Austrians who did that. For example, a guy called Frank Stronach, for example. Then there is Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of these kind of guys. The Red Bull guy, the Didi Mateschitz dude. These people, they are chasing their ideals, their business, and they, at some point, I mean, yeah, of course they tell these crazy stories. Yeah, well, I had to sleep on the street for 1 week. We don't really know how things like this really worked out for them. Yeah, but apparently some of them did, and they worked themselves up the ladder from the street, essentially. And I think that in a country like America, where you don't really have a lot of limitations, this is perfectly well possible. You're only limited by your own fears and insecurities and unwillingness to try stuff. Yeah, this is what limits you in the end, really. And it still does today. Yeah, not only in America, but also here, where limitations are a lot more complex. You're gonna get shut down by bureaucracy really quickly if you're really trying to do something yourself and stuff like this. Even here, stuff like this is still possible. Yeah, you just have to have the will, and where there's wo ein Wille ist, ist auch ein Weg, we say in German. Yeah, where there is a will, there is a way, essentially. Smanka says, great respect probably is a problem then. By the way, the 7B was just one pitch out of 5, and I was the second climber, so it's basically top rope. Okay, yeah, still, but could you do all moves on a 7B? Did you climb it cleanly without using technical stuff, That's what I mean. Then you can still do this stuff. Gasmatab is back on the stream. Welcome back, man. Just chimed in. Grüß dich, Manny. Grüß dich, Gasmatab. Hope you're doing fine. The ex-gamer dude says, hey, Manny, I have been bouldering for a year now, and I climbed 7A. I have started lead climbing, and I misclicked. Part 2, I'm wondering what kind of lead grade should I theoretically be able to climb, not considering fear of heights. So you boulder 7A, well, then you could theoretically climb for sure 7C. Yeah, for sure 7C root grade, maybe even the one or the other endurance 8A. Yeah. When it's just about power. Obviously, you need to still gain the endurance. You need to get rid of your fear of falling. You need to get all the technical aspects dialed, which come with rock climbing on rope. But just from a power point of view, it's roughly the conversion there. Corbin says, hi, Manny. I've been keeping up with your channel for a few years now and just realized I never knew who your favorite climber is, professional or not, and who or what inspired you to start climbing. My personal favorite, super cheesy, super simple, but yeah, Adam Ondra is my personal favorite. Not necessarily because he just climbs so super strong. Yeah, he climbs super strong, but he also has a really cool mindset. He is very modest, I think, despite of all of his success. He's pretty down to earth. I met the guy a couple of times in person. Also talked to him. He's just a normal dude, man. He's a really normal dude, really down to earth, and he seems to be one of those people who just found his purpose in life. Okay, he found his purpose in life, and he's just executing that. And I respect that. I really respect that. If people just follow their dreams, essentially, yeah. I think this is the good stuff. More people should do it like that. We would get all a lot better results if more people would do it like that. The less people stick in boring jobs just to, earn their paycheck to then be able to go home at some day. The less of these kind of people we have, the better. We want to have people who are excited about what they do. Of course, not everybody can be a professional rock climber, yeah, because then we all die because nobody has anything to eat anymore. But then we would find a solution for this problem as well, yeah. There is quite dedicated farmers out there as well, yeah. I've met just one of these guys recently. This is where I get most of my meat nowadays. Yeah, I try to avoid the supermarket as much as possible. Can I do it 100%? No, obviously I can't. But what I want to say is there is dedicated farmers out there, and these small guys who want to do it right, yeah, who want to use the least medication as possible, who want to do the least damage to the environment as possible, who want to do everything in the most natural way as possible, they actually have it the hardest from the system. Yeah, they get regulated down the most. They get the most regulations. They have the least profit and the most effort. Yeah, because obviously, if you have access to medical stuff and to soy from the rainforest and stuff like that, of course you can feed your animals a lot more efficiently, but it's unnatural. It's not healthy for them. But this way you're supporting the most industry. Yeah, you're supporting the grain industry. You're supporting the transportation industry. These guys around my corner, they don't do all this kind of stuff. They have their small farm where they feed them grass. Okay, the cows there, they eat grass, and the pigs, they get the residual stuff from the kitchen. Yeah, this is how they work there, and this is amazing. These guys I want to support. So what I want to say in the end is, if just all the people who really wanted to do a certain thing just simply would do their thing and not something else, which the system forced them to do, we would be probably in a lot better world. Yeah, we would be living in a better world, essentially. And Adam Onra is just one of these guys who found what he likes, and he just executed it full force. Yeah, no regrets, full force, balls to the walls. And this I respect. Yeah, you can see that he's happy like that, and yeah, I like that. He's also not arrogant at all, or at least last time I met him, he was not. Yeah, people can change, of course, and it's already quite a while since I have met him, so maybe he changed. I don't know, but from what I know him, he's just an amazing person in general. So that's why I like the guy. Also, the way he climbs is amazing. Yeah, he doesn't really climb with brute force. He climbs rather with brain, and this is something that I like a lot as well. So let's take a sip again. I have the feeling I'm a little bit more tired than usual during the streams. So let's see how long we keep going. By the way, if I may remind you again, drop a like on the stream if you enjoy it. That helps a lot because it lets the stream rank higher in the algorithms. A couple more people will see it. We're now at over 500 subscribers on the stream, which means we're more than halfway towards the big subscriber goal of 1,000 subscribers. Share it with your friends if you enjoy it. If you know somebody who could enjoy it as well, share it with them so that we can get a little closer to this big goal, because then we can enable super chats, and that would be cool. Then you can let your messages stick out. How cool would that be? That would be amazing. And you can support the channel with a little bit of a tip. That would be awesome as well. In terms of the watch time, by the way, we have exceeded the halfway milestone about a week ago or something. We're pretty close, actually. I think we're 2,500 hours of public watch time already, of 4,000, which is the goal there. So yeah, we're working on the goals here as well on this little side channel. That's amazing. Carlo Benettoni says, "Hi, Manny. Hope you're doing good." Yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you? When are you going to come back to Trieste? Oh, yes. Amazing and hard climbing waiting for you in both winter and summer. Dude. I was already there almost. Yeah, I'm for sure gonna come back to this certain spot where I have been there, which was just amazing. Good memories from your 8-day flash in Barato. Yeah, actually, I just red pointed the route as my first 8-day. Thanks for the inspiration, man. Congrats. Cool. That sounds amazing. Yeah, man. I've talked already about this spot to one of my outdoor climbing friends here in Graz, and he sounded very, very motivated for this stuff as well. Yeah. So maybe we come there once, make an overnighter, do another session or something, and then go back home. It's not even that far away from us. I think from Graz, it's a ride of, let's see, actually. Okay, let's see how far it is. Because, man, I would be really motivated to go there again. Let me see here real quickly. So let's see. I think from Graz by car. Yeah, so we have 3 hours. 3 hours. It's definitely doable, isn't it? Maybe we're gonna make a week trip or something. That would be cool, huh? A week trip down there, climbing 2 days, 1 rest day, climbing 2 days again, and then back home. That would be amazing. I think that definitely would pay off for 3 hours. And the thing is, you're going these 3 hours through Slovenia, and you're also gonna bypass, and you're gonna visit actually Osp. You're gonna go really close by at Osp. So you could give this a visit as well. You've got so much good climbing down there. It's not even funny, man. I'm pretty envious of your situation. Where I'm living at the moment, there is nothing like that at all. I'm pretty in the flatlands at the moment. I have to drive 1.5 hours anyway to have some good climbing, which is in the north of Graz. So small little trip down to Trieste, I would be totally up for it, man. I still need to talk to my colleague. He's got quite a flexible job as well. So that would be cool. Definitely motivated. Congrats to the first 8-day, man. That's amazing. DX Gamer Dude says, "Are you following your dream?" Ooh, good question. Am I following my dream? Yes, actually I do. I think I do. I believe I do. Well, at least I'm still chasing one of my athletic goals. Yeah. When I started this sport, I've talked also quite a lot on these streams about generalists and specialists. I'm actually a generalist. For me to do something for longer than 10 years is extremely uncommon. Yeah. I have to put a lot of discipline on the table to be able to do something for longer than 10 years. Because I'm a generalist, I get usually the best results in the first time when I start something new. This is the most rewarding time for a generalist. Generalists are good at learning new stuffs. They usually make quick progress in the beginning, and then at some point it becomes a bit boring. And then something else new becomes more interesting, and then the generalist jumps to the next thing, and then they jump to the next thing, and then they jump to the next thing. So what this of course leads to is that you become the generalist. You'll be quite good in a lot of things, but you will be never super good in something. And to me, this was a problem when I was about 17, 18 years old. I realized this kind of stuff, and I thought to myself, you know what? I want to have something, at least one thing that I'm really, really good at. And it just came to be that climbing fell into this box of I want to be really good at this. And this is why I'm sticking to climbing for over 11 years now, which is something that is really unusual for a generalist to stick to something for such a long time. I have also set myself the goal, which is still out there, to climb a 9A at some point. Yeah, this would be a great goal. And I think now that I was so close to that already with the first 8C Plus that I sent in November 2019, I think chasing this athletic goal for a bit more time is quite justified, don't you think? I don't know. I'm still motivated. Okay, I still make awesome gains if I dedicate the time to training and stuff like that. So I don't see why it shouldn't be possible. Maybe it is not possible. I don't know, but at least want to try. This is something that we've said about before, right? You can only regret stuff you don't try. So we at least try, and if we fail, we have nothing to regret, at least. Yeah. So that's something I still need to accomplish. Give this 9A project a serious effort and see whether it's possible. Yeah. And when this is done, I'm not gonna lie to you, when this is done, there's gonna be a very interesting time coming towards me, because I'm not sure whether I'm gonna follow the climbing thing to such an extreme extent, at least after that. Yeah. I've already realized now that I have my own little family here and stuff like that. I mean, there is more to life than climbing. Yeah, there is more to life. There is so much more, actually. So much more interesting stuff, and to still discover. So much more countries to visit. So much more travels to do, possibly. Who knows what's coming at us then, yeah? At the moment, still, there is this big goal, and it has to be done. So I will focus on that full force. It's also something that I simply want to prove to myself. Yeah? For me, these are completely arbitrary things here. Yeah, what someone else puts at a milestone or something. But when you would have asked me 10 years ago, what do you think are the masters? How can you attain mastership in rock climbing? Then I would have probably said, well, you have to climb a 9A. If you have climbed a 9A, then you're definitely a master. This is like having a super high-end black belt in karate or something, right? Then you're a master. You're a grand master. If you want to attain grand mastership in this discipline of rock climbing, in my opinion, what I would have said back in the days was 9A. This was the guys that I was looking up to, right? Wow, 9A. This is the holy grail of rock climbing. So it makes sense to chase that as well, to achieve that as well. Yeah. So let's see if we can do it. We're gonna give it a serious attempt. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. Epic stories are gonna be told, man. Epic adventures are gonna be undertaken. I look forward to it. But first of all, we have to get crazy strong again. And this is what this comeback plan is all about. Yeah, we're going to be crazy strong again around beginning to mid-October this season. And then we will see what happens. Yeah, we will not attack it instantly, of course. I don't want to take away too much of my strategy when it comes to this now, because, yeah, I want to unveil it when it is time. But hopefully we can give it some serious time and effort this season, and possibly also next season. We will see how hard it is in the end and how much effort it takes. Probably a hell lot of effort. But that's with all the things in life that are, I mean, nothing that's worth having comes easy at you, right? Everything that's worth having, you have to fight hard for, usually, or you're super, super lucky. Yeah, but it's not even the most fun that way. The funniest is when you have to work hard for it, and when you get obstacles in your way and you try to manage the obstacles and all this kind of stuff. This is when it's getting interesting, okay? That's what I look forward to. Music Scala. Do you think there comes a point where one should stop pursuing a dream and accept that it will never come true? I think this is a very deep topic. It is. And I feel sometimes this would be beneficial to some. Yes, this is true. Yeah, this is true. There is some truth to that, of course. Set realistic goals. Yeah. I mean, my mom will not climb a 9A anymore in her life. Yeah, so for her to set the goal to climb a 9A would be simply unrealistic, and that would be simply crazy. Yeah. And so what's crazy and what's not? Yeah, what's crazy and what's not? This takes intelligence. This takes being able to anticipate the future and being able to have a reasonable ability to estimate your own capabilities. Yeah, it's hard like that. We all have different genetics. We all have different circumstances. Not everybody, of course, and this is something that I'm preaching nowadays as well, which I wouldn't have preached back in the day. Back in the day, I said, well, everybody can climb 9A if they just put the effort in. Everybody can climb 9A. The truth is, not everybody can climb 9A, not even if they started super early and put all the effort in, because the genetics factor is just too big in climbing. And there is certain genetics that just simply, I think, nowadays cannot achieve this grade, even if they start super early and even if they are super dedicated and all of it. Yeah, this is the harsh truth, man. It's just super freaking crazily hard. It takes insane finger strength divided by body weight ratio. And it's just so that there is people out there who have a little bit of a more robust stature and just don't have all their strength in their fingers. Maybe they have it in their upper arms. Maybe they have it in their back or in their legs. Yeah, where it's not really helping you a lot when it comes to climbing. I myself, I have a lot of strength in my legs as well. I now see it again when training jumping power on the lawn. This works like a breeze for me. And I remember back in the day doing Shaolin Kung Fu, which is a very leg-heavy, very leg-dominant sport. I excelled in this sport a lot because I have quite strong legs. Now on the climbing, I have the feeling my strong legs are rather hindering my progress, yeah, because they are quite heavy as well. But anyway, there is certain genetics out there who are just simply they will have a super tough time doing 9A and stuff like this, yeah. And I mean, there is certain countries out there who are selecting their athletes already when they are super young, and they tell, okay, this is this body morphology, you go into this sport. This is this body morphology, you go into this sport, yeah. Where we could say, well, this is not the right approach, blah, blah, blah. These people, maybe the guy wants to play basketball, but he's a little bit on the shorter side. But he wants to play basketball. It's his favorite sport. Well, should we tell this guy then, no, you're not ideal for the sport, you should rather go rock climbing for that matter, because you're a bit smaller, you're strong in terms of, finger strength divided by body weight and everything, but you're not a 2-meter guy, you're not a basketballer, so you can't really do this, or you won't really have a lot of success with this. Is this really the right approach? Again, I also said on the stream, people should follow their passions. Yeah, if we would have more of these people, then we would have a happier world, essentially. But yes, there is genetics for something, and not everybody is good at everything, unfortunately. Yeah. So I get the point of these people trying to select perfect people for the sports, because maybe in the end, the person will be thankful to this kind of trainer who told him in time, look, this is not the best sport for you. Look for this and this. This is much more fitting to you, because you must realize, when these people put in effort and effort and effort and effort, and they do this stuff for 10 years, and they get significantly worse results compared to a guy who has the genetics and only does the stuff for 3 years. Imagine how frustrating this is then. Yeah, imagine how frustrating this is. So a lot of this kind of frustration can be avoided if people are already at the beginning selected carefully. Yeah. This is by far not happening at all, and especially not in our modern world, where everybody can do everything and everybody should do everything and stuff like this. Again, this is a double-edged sword. This is a double-edged sword, as we have it so often nowadays. So yeah, I would say no, not everything is achievable for everybody. You should, of course, have realistic expectations, estimate your own abilities, estimate your own capabilities, try to anticipate how good you really can get, even if you put all the effort in. Yeah. Try to do it for a year, see how fast you progress in a year, and then you can already pretty much, what's the word? You can calibrate. Yeah, you can calibrate where you will end up on this kind of curve. And this way you can avoid just putting super much effort down and not getting really the results that you desire. Gesmatab says, I'm fine, thanks. Just back from the gym. Nice topics here. Yeah, it's an interesting stream today. Let me throw another one in. Okay. This sounds like I have to take a sip from the good old live stream receptacle first. Yeah. We're rocking the Erdinger today. The Erdinger is pretty cool. Yeah? The Erdinger has a really nice fit in my hand. Maybe I could use the Erdinger for my finger strength curls. Huh? What do you think? But I think it's a little bit too lightweight. It's only 1 kilo. Maybe I could fill it with water and close the top off or something. How about, what do you think of 5G and all the technology and transhumanism? Transhumanism coming up. Nowhere to hide. Will it melt our brain? Work as a tool of absolute control. Yeah, interesting question. Look, the world, since already a couple of decades now, the world is moving into a certain direction. Okay, the world obviously is moving into a certain direction wherever you look. Yeah, almost wherever you look. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a couple of spots on the planet where people are living on an isolated island and they don't get struck by all the progressivism that we have nowadays, and they can avoid all this stuff. Yeah, I doubt it. The world is moving into a certain direction for a long time already, for a couple of decades, not for a very long time, but for a couple of decades. And this is completely independent of what political party is in power or what president is in power or whatnot. Yeah, the world is moving into a certain direction. And the increase in technology is obviously just that. Yeah, this is also part of this. 5G and stuff like that. Yeah, this is all very questionable, even if there would not be any health concerns to it, which is arguably by some people very questioned, yeah, by some high-end scientists as well, very questioned whether this kind of technology really has zero impact on our health, when we already know that certain waves that we are using with now, the laptop that I'm using here is sending waves, magnetic waves off, and these could potentially influence, of course, the charged ions in my body. Yeah, this is only physics. We've got a physicist student on the stream now, so he can attest to that. If you have electromagnetic waves, then charged ions, they bounce with these frequencies. Yeah, so there is something to this. Yeah, I'm not saying that our brain is gonna melt or something like that. Yeah. In my opinion, then our brain had melted a long time ago, because let's be honest, we all use Wi-Fi, we all use cell phones and smartphones and all that stuff. I don't have a smartphone, but my girlfriend uses smartphones. Everybody uses smartphones, so we already would have a melted brain by now. Do we know the long-term health consequences of this? No, of course we don't. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this affects the upcoming generations. Yeah, hopefully not too much to the negative. So much for all the health concern stuff. What seems to be a greater concern for most people at the moment is the control. Of course, they will they will try to camouflage this control with a much nicer word, which is called security. Yeah, they will give you security. So what they will do is they give you cameras on the street, so that they control traffic, that they control pedestrians, whatever. They will they will much more enforce payment by card, because it's safer. Yeah, we live in the times of the sea, the big sea, so we can't pay by cash because everything is infected. We have to be careful so that we don't get infected, blah blah blah, so that we have to pay by card more and more, which is of course a way of payment which is much more controlled. So as you can see, what they will do is they will sell control as security, and this way direct the world as we know it nowadays into a state where everything is just much more controlled than it is now. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, this is I think in the observer. Yeah, if you ask me personally, I think it's a very questionable development. Yeah, you should be very aware of what's going on. At least I would say that. Be aware that the freedoms that you have now could go away quicker than you think in the very near future. Yeah, it's not like back in the day, people always talked about the end of the world. They were talking about war. There's going to be World War III, and we all going to end in a big nuclear explosion, and this is going to be the end of the world. Oh no, then there is coming global warming, and this is going to be the end of the world. Oh no, then there is coming the big virus, then there is coming the big pandemic, and this is going to be the end of the world. The truth is probably that all of these things are not going to be the end of the world. Yeah, the effects of these things, in fact, are pretty negligible. I don't feel them at all, to be honest. I don't feel them at all. I didn't feel World War III. I didn't feel global warming a lot yet. And I didn't feel the virus at all. Yeah, so these things are negligible. What I can feel, though, is the rise of technology. I can feel the rise of control on the internet. This is something that I felt myself already, because people are getting censored on the internet. Yeah, the rise of control is real. What I think is they are going to use this control at some point, if they have it, once they have it established, to just simply keep doing what they did all the time, which is increasing the discrepancy between the top 1% and the bottom 99% even more. And if you just are on the bottom 99%, well, then you have not drawn the lucky card, and you will face the consequences of this development at some point. Yeah, if you give away all your freedoms and all your powers, which is exactly what's happening at the moment. Yeah, they are selling control for security, as I said. And at some point, it's just gonna be in a situation where where you're totally dependent on this system, and then they can do with you whatever they want, and they will. Yeah, this is how it always occurred in history. History repeats itself all the time that way. Yeah, I just tell you, if you're in the bottom 99% at this point in time, be very smart, be very open-eyed, have open ears. Yeah, look around, be smart, recognize certain developments, and once it's becoming questionable, act. Okay, act accordingly. Move if it's necessary. Move your ass in time. Okay. Trust me, unless there is a super huge big revolt coming up trying to stop this development, this is not going to be stopped. Yeah? This is not going to be stopped. It's just going to continue that way, and it's not going to get better, probably. Yeah, it's just going to get worse and worse, unfortunately, as time goes on. I myself, when it comes to this stuff, have very open eyes and very open ears, and I watch very carefully what's happening there, so that I can act accordingly once things get serious. Yeah, this is as much I can say. Yeah, this is as much I can say. This is, again, truth versus mindset. Truth versus mindset. Even if all of this was pure conspiracy stuff, pure BS that I told you now, okay? This is just pure BS. All progressivism is, in fact, wonderful. Then we have amazing smart cities, and nothing can go wrong there. We're gonna live in utopia. Everybody's gonna be happy. Yeah. And even if all of what I'm saying is BS here, it would still be the better mindset. It would still be the better mindset. What's the better mindset? To go around like a sheep and just assume that everything is cared for you? No, the better mindset is rather that of the critical, skeptic wolf who's estimating the situation carefully and acts accordingly to what's happening. Yeah, this is just always the better mindset to have here. So I have this kind of mindset, of course, and I would very much advise you out there to have this mindset as well. Yeah, you have nothing to lose. Yeah, if it doesn't come out like this, well, be happy. Nothing went wrong there. Yeah. So this is what I would say to this very general question, very general answer. I can't go into much more detail here now, but I think you get the point where I'm coming from. Omic Contact says, what are you going to do with your strength once you're back in good shape, in two shape? What will you add to your collection? In top shape, okay. Yeah, I mean, when I get back to real top shape, then I will obviously try again the 9A project, which I'm not going to disclose now what that is. But we've got it. So we're going to take it again. Jens Saha says, hi, I recently strained my lumbricals in both hands. Okay, damn. When climbing pockets in a 45-degree roof. Okay, climbing pockets, very, very, very common like that. Do you have any experience with that and have any tips? Yes, I had it as well. Climb below pain threshold, keep climbing, don't stop completely, don't tape, in my opinion. Yeah, just let it heal naturally. Let it go away, climb it away below pain threshold. DX Gamer Dude says, that's funny. I think you and I are pretty similar. I have been doing a lot of things and become really obsessed. And I become good fast. Yes, this is a crucial point of the generalist. But then I go over to something else. Yeah, of course, because you can good fast at something else as well. But I did this to try to find something I would become super good at. Then climbing just ended up to be that sport I want to push myself on. Yeah, that's pretty similar to my story. Again, I did a lot of stuff before I did climbing as well. A lot of martial arts, and I even played basketball. I even, I did all kinds of stuff, skateboarding, whatnot. Dante Loy says, "Hi Manny, any good resoling service in Vienna?" In Vienna, specifically, I don't really know any super good resoling services, I must say. What I know is that you can send from Vienna quite easily to the Czech guys who have really good resolers. Yeah? I think isn't Saltic Czech as well? I'm not sure, but you can send to a couple of Czech resolers in Vienna quite easily. Chili Chat says, I know how that feels. I played competitive tennis since I was 6. Biggest waste of my time. Yeah. It happens a lot out there. Yeah, it happens a lot out there. This is again in the times of, yeah, but he likes to do it so much. Let's let him have this hobby. Da 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 da. Yeah, maybe he would be more thankful if you would put him on the right hobby in the beginning right away, and then let him get really good at that. Okay, instead of getting him mediocre in something else because of his genetic constitution. Yeah. Carlo Benettoni says, what do you think a good Onsight grade could be for one that can rep red 0.7C/8A in around 10 goes? If you can remember, what was your average Onsight grade when you red pointed these grades? 7C/8A. Go to bed already? Okay. I would say good Onsight grades for this kind of range is 7A to 7B. Yeah, depending on how good of an Onsighter you are. If you're a really good Onsighter, you're maybe able to do a 7B as well. Yeah, 7B plus even could be. Also depends on how maxed out you already are in terms of your max grade. Yeah, if you're already really close at your genetic limit max grade with 8A, which is something that I don't know, yeah, but it could be. If it's not, then cool, then keep progressing. If it is, then it's natural that your Onsight grade is quite significantly below that. If it's not your max, yeah, in terms of absolute max lifetime limit grade, then it's natural that your Onsight grade is actually pretty close to your current red point max grade, that is. Yeah. So in this case, I would rather go with 7B plus or something like that. Should be possible if you're a pretty good Onsighter. And definitely on a flash if you have a good beta donor. Yeah. Ed Cunningham says, have you chosen your 9A project? Yes, I did. I suppose you want to give away details yet. Yeah, I don't. But is it endurance or bouldery? It's bouldery. And do you know the Crux boulder grade? The Crux boulder grade is about 8A plus. Yeah, that's the Crux boulder grade of the 9A. The project that I chose, I didn't choose it. It's not like, okay, this has to be my first 8A. Now I have to go full force. No, I just found a route which I really liked in terms of style. I could do all the moves except one. Okay, one move is still missing. So I hope that I at some point gain the strength to do this move, and then we can actually project it full force. One move is still missing. The route is really cool. I like the style of it. It's not like I have to go 2 hours to reach it as well. Yeah, so there's a doable ascent and descent. And what I want to say is that the route is quite projectable that way. It's not like there is 100 other obstacles that you have to accomplish apart from the hard grade. Okay. The grade is enough for me. I need something that is projectable as well. It's not super wet all the time as well. So it's quite projectable. Yeah, the boulder grade is 8A plus. Fabian Rivero says, yes, electromagnetic waves can affect the molecules that make up your body. Yeah, absolutely. But in a very superficial and non-harmful way. Yeah, this is what obviously it must be like that, because otherwise I would melt down here as I'm speaking, right? Wi-Fi is in this room. There's a couple of radio towers built around me. I've got this laptop here. Obviously, the effect has to be negligible. Yeah? Microwave ovens use waves of a frequency very similar to 5G, but 5G waves will be 1 million times less powerful. Yeah, phew, yeah, man. But I mean, it's also not a good feeling to sit in a very low power microwave, right? It's kind of questionable. Yeah, that's all I know so far. I'm just a student. It does not appear that 5G is harmful, but the very long term effects are not known much. That's the truth. Yeah, we just don't have this technology for a very long time. There is conspiracy theories out there that 5G is actually linked to the big C. I'm sure you all heard this kind of stuff. It's out there in the internet, super accessible. James the Song Cook says, "Nah, dude, waves cause hydrogen atoms to myofibrillate and turn into zombie T viruses, causing humans to turn into evil worshipping sheep controlled by Bill Gates." Exactly, man. This guy got it. This guy got it right. Yeah, it's a big problem. Ed Cunningham says, "Sup, James? How's it going?" Sup? Pretty damn bad, actually. I ruptured my C3 pulley trying to one arm the 8mm micro. What the frick? Are you crazy? One arm the 8mm micro? Well, you deserved that freaking C3 pulley rupture, man. You ruptured it completely? Cautionary tale. That sucks. Can you do one arm on the 10 mil? Wish you fast recovery. I never actually tried, but I could do 5 seconds one arm hang 10 mil and almost 3 seconds straight arm no rotation hang. It's pretty badass, man. It's pretty badass. That's impressive. How long have you climbed? Started in summer 2017, broke my elbow after 7 months and had to take a year off. Dude, you have a lot of power, it seems. You're rupturing your body apart super quickly all the time. Take it easy. Take it easy for some time. Let your tendons and your joints recover from this kind of progress that you have obviously made. Ed Cunningham said, "You could hang 10 millimeters in 2 years. How much do you weigh?" Around 130 to 135 pounds. Also, there's a guy on Instagram, PDE96, who could one arm hang the 10 mil after 2 weeks of hangboarding and only a bit of climbing. What the freak? Okay, I need to check this guy out. Let me see. You see, this is what I'm talking about, okay? There is crazy genetic freaks when it comes to rock climbing out there. Rock climbing is a huge genetically dependable sport. Yeah, finger strength divided by body weight is about as genetics as it can get in terms of morphology and power. So let me see PDE. Let me see this guy. This is I want to see this myself. Let me see. Okay, I don't see anything. It's a private dude. Apparently, can't see it. Can't see it. Follow the. Okay, there's a question. I have to send a question that I can follow him. I usually don't do this kind of stuff. Yeah, but I totally believe that this is possible. I mean, there's crazy finger strength freaks out there. That's insane. Not sure how that is possible. Yeah, it's possible, but crazy genetics. I've met some pretty insane genetic freaks who are Eve Gravel level and don't use social media. Absolutely, man. That's absolutely true. Yeah. There is insane genetics freaks out there in terms of climbing, and we never even really have heard of them because they just don't care. They don't do any competitions. They don't have any social media. They climb 9As on their weekends. Okay. They send this stuff on their weekends. Usually they boulder really hard. I think that's where even more underdogs exist when it comes to bouldering outdoors. Usually, if someone sends a hard outdoor route like 9A or above, it's usually it spikes a lot of attention, and it's getting known it's getting its way into the media somehow. Yeah, albeit there is for sure people out there who never were in the media and sent 9A. Yeah, with bouldering it's a bit less common. I think there is more underdogs when it comes to bouldering for some reason. That's just my opinion, and there is definitely crazy finger strength freaks out there who we never really have heard of. And this only goes to show how genetically dependent climbing really is. Yeah, there is just stick figures out there who have crazy finger strength, and this is of course unbeaten in the climbing world. Carlo Benettoni says, unfortunately, I'm a very bad onsighter, and I'm trying to onsight 7A at the moment. Haha. Anyway, I still feel like 8A and definitely not being my genetic limit. Yeah, I don't think as well. Yeah. Onsighting 7A, yeah, man, go for it. It's as I said, you could, if you were a good onsighter, probably go up to 7B even with your onsight skills. Yeah, but it also takes time and experience, and it takes a lot of attempts. Yeah, onsighting has a huge experience component. The more onsight attempts you're gonna do, the more experience you gain. The problem is, of course, that you have to burn on-site attempts like this, and waste them essentially, because at the moment you don't stick them usually. Yeah, you're just gonna burn through them. But that's how it goes with the on-site game. You only have one on-site attempt for every route, right? James the Song Cook says he deleted his post and YouTube channel. Yeah, that's a shame. He's on private, Manny. Yeah, he's on private. I've seen. DM him. He's not lying. Yeah, maybe I see. Hey, Manny, have you ever had twisted ankle? If yes, how did you deal with that? I had a mild twisted ankle at some point from running because I stepped onto something that was not completely even. Just not running, just not jumping a lot. Okay. Avoiding the pain, just walking. It was a very mild case. Yeah. So if it's not like it was super swollen or something, it was a bit swollen, it was painful, but I could go about my day. And that's what I did. I just went about my day. I avoided getting into climbing juice. I avoided jumping down from the wall and all that kind of stuff. I stayed below pain threshold, which is what I usually do with all kinds of injuries. Yeah. That's how you can heal it. Do you think that there's anyone who has bouldered V16 which isn't public knowledge? Yes, absolutely. I think so. Absolutely. I could totally imagine that. All right, guys, I've made it to the bottom of the chat. After around 2 hours of streaming, which is just perfect, because then it's time to go bed. I think it's time to go bed, to go to bed. I'm already rambling here. One last reminder, hey, drop a like on the stream if you enjoyed it. We had a couple of really interesting topics today. That was amazing. Not only climbing related stuff, a lot of climbing related stuff as well, but also other stuff. That's what I appreciate, talking about the really important stuffs in life, which there are as well apart from climbing. Of course, climbing is super important, as we know, but there's also a lot of other important stuff to talk about. So that's a lot of fun as well. Thanks for the good questions. I think I will see you soon in the next one. Let me see a couple of there's coming so many new comments here. I can't even stop if there's so many new comments. Akira Waku, although he's sort of known. Okay, yeah. You mean for a V16 guy who sent V16 and isn't known at all? Gasmatab says, yeah, I agree. Watch out like a wolf. They're pretty much human experimenting. Yeah. Just like the early days of atomic energy, and we'll see about the zombie thing. Yeah, just keep your eyes open, stay attentive, okay? Stay critical, stay skeptical, be above all, man. Yeah, it's not everything is don't follow the sheep, okay? Don't follow the sheep to the gorge, or I don't know how you should say. If you would suggest a short and effective training for winter when I have to work a lot and time to go on rock only once a week. Oh no, you're just deleting your text, Carlo. I just wanted to read it. Man, the stream is getting a place where legends are told of mythical finger strength. Yeah. In the end, we always end up there, right? Legends of mythical finger strength, of legendary finger strength. Yeah, absolutely. There is crazy people out there, trust me. I've seen this myself, okay? Not to such an extent, but I've seen people gaining just crazy amounts of finger strength in ridiculously short time. Just because they already bring this to the table a lot, yeah. And I said it before, there have been finger strength studies done amongst teenagers, yeah, and finger strength on teenagers differs by 300%. Okay, there is some guys who only have, there's some people in the same age range who have 3 times as much finger strength as the others, naturally speaking, without any training whatsoever. And so obviously, if you want to be a good rock climber, you want to be rather in this category, obviously, yeah. But this just goes to show how much variance there is in terms of naturally gifted finger strength. And then if this comes together with a naturally low body fat, a kind of a ectomorph body type, well, then you're good to go. You're ready to crush, man. I've heard of a guy that James, he was an in Albert Ox video. Oh, rip, yeah, he's well known then. I don't think he is anyone, in my opinion. There is anyone. Do you have Instagram, James? It's crazy. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining. It was an amazing stream. I need to go to bed at some point. It was an intense day. Tomorrow is going to be a rest day, so there I can recover a little bit. I also, as always, will do the timestamps as the coming week is progressing. I will see you soon in the next stream. Same time, same place. Sunday, 9 in the PM, 21 o'clock in the PM, GMT +2 time, my time zone. Okay, in short. But we're going to see us there. Okay, have a great week. Have a great training. Whatever you do, I wish you all the best. Have a good night as well. Have a good recovery. And we are going to see us soon. Bye, guys.